Hey guys, just wanted to make a quick video today to talk about some of my recent progress and updates and stuff. Where I've been, what I've been up to. I haven't made a video in about 2 weeks, and a lot has happened in that time, which is part of why it's been so long. I am in a different area of the house. I finally got my tripod for my iPad, and happy to be able to kind of play around with that. For photos and videos and stuff like that in the future. I've already done a little bit with it, but obviously I haven't had a lot of time to play around with all of the possibilities and some of the things I want to implement in the future. When I last left off, I had about 2 appointments left on my bodysuit, and this wasn't blacked out yet. We had here and here to do. And I needed to do my belly button again. We did almost this entire arm again, and this entire side in one appointment. And we filled the belly button that day too. It was a very, very long tattoo appointment. We did about 5.5 hours of black work, and that's a long day. 5.5 hours is an unpleasant tattoo anyway. I mean, I've gone quite a bit longer than that, but 5.5 hours of black work is just a ton of trauma and really hard to heal well. So we were really pushing it, but we've got a lot to get done, so we're trying to get as much done as we can in the time we have. So we went for it, and I'm not afraid to say I went home and I was ill. People ask sometimes if you've ever been, weak feeling after a tattoo. Someone just asked me, and I said, yeah, I've even been sick. I actually threw up after that appointment. It was so traumatic, but I regret nothing. I had a bit of a hard heal. This guy here is going to need some work, and we even stopped short of the goal. So, but we're going to be back in here anyway, so this is going to get evened out. There's some spots there that need to be smoothed and kind of match up with the back and I think some of the shoulder and stuff. But yeah, this is just a sign as any that black doesn't get real smooth saturation like I've got on the first pass. So we'll be hitting this again before long. Once it's fully healed, we'll do probably 20 minutes on that again. But yeah, threw up that day. Had really hard heal that week. I was kind of feeling sick for about 3 days. Not really, really sick, but sick enough that I wasn't really looking forward to the next week's appointment. But we did it. We didn't have as much to do that day, but we did it. There's still some smoothing there, but yeah, the torso front is done. There's a piece of the tentacle still left in the back, but we're going to be touching up the back anyway, so we'll get that guy out of there when we go down, get the back touched up. So coming up, I've got my blackout hand, get all these areas saturated again. If I bend my knuckles, you can see the problems. And then there's just this one spot here that just doesn't like to take ink. Pretty calloused or something, but anyway, that's up tomorrow as well. So probably not going to have a really long day tomorrow. It only takes about 45 minutes, but super painful appointment. Still, it's going to be a nice change from working on the sides and stuff like that, so I'm not dreading that too much. Can't tell, me and my wife love Halloween. This is our entry room to the house. You walk in, this is basically the first thing you see. It's kind of our centerpiece. There's just Halloween stuff everywhere. The whole house is either decorated Gothic or Halloween inspired, so yeah. Anyway, quick ramble there. I also got my 20mm custom libre from Stone Wolf finally in the mail. It's quite a bit more comfortable. It does dig in a little, but it's going to be a little while before I tinker with getting a possible other libre made to see if I can get it not to dig in a little when I speak. but overall it is more comfortable than what I had. So this is it. It is about the size I'm looking for. I am quite happy with the size. I'll get closer. Sometimes they'll sit a little crooked, but anyway, yeah, I'm pretty happy with the size of it. No problems there, but like I said, it digs in a little. Also, last time I was talking about becoming a piercer and that opportunity. I've been in 5 days so far, and 2 weeks ago I was given 2 giant nursing textbooks. One of them is over 4,000 pages, but it's got tabs for and flags for kind of what I should read versus the things that I don't need. Even still, there's some parts where it's read the whole chapter and then you look in the chapter's 50 pages. So I'm doing a lot of making notes, and I was also borrowed the piercing Bible. The piercer there gave me the piercing Bible to read. I also ordered my own copy just because it's going to be nice to just keep a copy even if I get it read before mine arrives. So yeah, lots of homework, but 5 days in the shop and just kind of lots of learning, like still lots to learn. So far all I've done is set up and done consultations and stuff like that. I don't know how long it'll be before I'm making money with it or stabbing people, as people keep asking me if I've stabbed anyone yet, things like that. I don't really expect that to happen immediately. I mean, I have pierced people in the past. I've done a few. I've pierced myself a whole bunch of times, but it's not quite the same thing, obviously. There's different techniques that she wants me to learn and that will be beneficial to me to learn. Even things as simple as how to properly open a needle versus how I would do it, you know. There's safer, sterile ways to do just about everything. The needles she works with are actually quite a bit longer than the ones that I did too. So there's just a few things. Learning different placements. She uses different tools for each piercing that she does, or not different tools for each one, but there's quite a few different tools to learn and kind of their functions, and eventually, you know, you get your system and whatever works for you, but I want to learn everything I can so that I do a good job of it. I'd like to learn more than I need to know as opposed to less than I need to know. So I'm happy to be learning lots. I'm still, like, they announced that I'm part of the team there, and I shared that message, and I was proud, and like I was really proud, but there's still part of me that thinks that it could not work out, and so I have my reservations. Like, obviously I haven't quit my day job, and I'm not going to. Even if I do become a piercer, I don't know if it'll be enough money to live on its own. I would imagine it would be nice side income, and maybe you drop a day at your day job and you do 2 or 3 piercing shifts a week and you make a little more money than you did. You know, that's kind of how I'm looking at it for now, till I see some concrete numbers and things like that. But for now, it's just a hobby that's keeping me incredibly busy, and it doesn't feel all that much like work anyway, because this is stuff that I love anyway, so it's kind of fun as well. So there's that. But I want to make sure that there's an end to it. Like I'm the kind of guy who, I'm not going to keep doing something if it's not going to work. So I just want to see, you know, if I'm going to be good at it. I'm certainly knowledgeable about piercings, but I'm not going to bang my head against the wall either, so not to kill it before it even gets going, but yeah, like I say, I'm incredibly busy. I'm a full-time father. I have a wife. I have a job. I work over 50 hours a week already. So taking something more on from there is it's a lot to ask, so you want to see that it's going somewhere. You don't want to just be playing house forever. So yeah, lots. Tomorrow there'll be lots. I haven't made videos because I've been so busy. As how it always goes, I get this great opportunity to learn how to pierce, and what is it? 4 guys quit at work within the span of a week or two. So picking up some hours, and then while you're there working a lot harder, so I'm a lot more tired with my actual work as well. So there's limited capacity, or not limited, but less capacity to take in new information when you're a little more dogged than you would be. So really straining to understand and trying to focus really hard to learn all of this stuff. Obviously, the 2 weeks ago when I got ill was when people started quitting, and so that's first when I was learning, like the first part of my piercing apprenticeship started then, and I get all those books, and so now I'm ill, I'm working harder, I've got this great opportunity, and I'm trying to study and trying to get this information in because I don't want this to pass me by, or I don't want to seem disinterested. So all of this while I have a son and a wife, and this is not at all the first time that I've been in a situation like this before. It's just, it always seems, I mean, tell me if I'm wrong, but doesn't it seem like right when you're about to do something good for yourself, or like something new, you want to learn something new, that everything seems to go wrong, right? Like it seems like life doesn't want to work with you. But my response to that is, well, I'm not just going to let it pass me by, right? Like I could easily, I know some people who would easily just go, boy, oh boy, this is a lot of information, and geez, that book's really big, I don't know if I can do this, it's too much, and I'm working, and you know, especially, I'm not especially young anymore either, like the idea of starting a brand new journey into a new field when I've been cooking for 17 years. The idea of starting a new career is, you know, it's usually, apprentices usually start a bit younger than me, so we'll see if you can teach an old dog new tricks or not. I'd like to think you can, but then again, I don't buy into a lot of those popular beliefs, so we'll see how it goes. I will be keeping this channel up to date on that. If things take a turn for the worst, I'll be the first to admit it. I'm not just gonna pretend, you know, like, oh, apprenticeship's going great, even if it's not. The other thing I'm a little troubled by is there doesn't seem to be a whole lot of time, because my tattoo artist does have, I believe he's now just put his house up for sale, and he has his other shop already as of September 1st, and all along I've kind of been believing he's going to be gone October 1st, and the woman who's training me is his wife, so obviously she'll be going too. They say they'll be back and forth, but I don't know how my apprenticeship will carry on with her being somewhere else, or if it will, or any of that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of unknown factors there still. The one thing I am really happy about is that we did get this torso done. It will need touch-ups, but like, we got it. Like, I was worried that we might not, because there was a lot to do, like so much to do. When we started ripping apart these tentacles, I was like, good God, have I made a mistake? Because I don't want to leave this with someone else to finish. You know, it's a daunting workload, but the end result I'm really happy with, and I honestly feel like for the first time my torso is actually finished, because I never really felt like those tentacles were complete. They were kind of, they were all mapped out, and some of them were shaded and some of them weren't, and they weren't doing it for me. So as crazy as some people will believe this is, I'm a lot happier now than I was before with where I'm at. All things considered, it just looks a lot more cohesive and focused, and I've talked about this before, that I wanted an image that looked contained and thought out, and that made sense, worked together all around. That might end up meaning that spawn ends up going as well, just like this one did, because it's become a lot more about the whole suit and how it works together than it is about individual pieces. Like these guys have got to get touched up. The skulls, the teeth, those are coming soon. Those are kind of what's next. This guy here, he needs some love. The back of my head is going to get built in more to the black. It's not going to be a full blackout back there, but there's going to be a lot more black. That's going to be either next week or maybe even a bit tomorrow morning. If I can convince Lee to do a little back there. I think a little will go a long way in building the head into the torso. So, and again, the finger tattoos, while painful, are not going to take long. So, doing this whole hand again, most likely, and maybe this wrist, will only take probably 45 minutes. So, you know, before that, because that's going to have to be the end point. You can't, I would say, I know I'm rambling, but a tip for anyone out there, if you're getting a sleeve and you're going to be working on your hand, I would recommend that you do the hand last, especially if you're going under the fingers, because your nerves are going to be frayed after your fingers. You're not going to want to sit and keep working on something after that. Just not in my experience. I prefer the hardest be the last part, personally. Like when we work on my chest, we go, let's do the nipples last. Work on the stomach. Actually, this one last time we did do the belly button first, but generally speaking, I prefer to do the hard part last, and that's kind of the home stretch. So take that as some anecdotal advice. Ephemeral Remy prefers to do the hard part last, for what it's worth to you. Anyway, this video has been quite a bit longer than I actually expected, but there was a lot to go over, and I do like making these videos. It's just, honestly, if I get to the end of a day and there's 8 more things to do, and one of them's YouTube, YouTube's probably going to be the one that I don't do, because this is just another passion project. It's not my breadwinner, or it's not the prize pig either. It's not my favorite pastime, but it is one of my more enjoyable pastimes. So, yeah, like I say, it's not paying my bills, and it's a smaller audience. So, obviously, if I had to chop something, it would be this. So, but I do plan on getting back on track once life sort of settles down, and once I have a more clear picture of what my piercing project's going to look like. I've talked about the podcast and a couple times, and I don't want to be the guy who talks about something and it never happens. That's still planned. I was actually, this tripod that I've got for the iPod, or the iPad, sorry, was actually going to be a big part of it. I've got quite a bit of stuff strictly for making YouTube a little bit better and a little bit easier to maneuver, instead of just having my phone and a ring light. I actually have some stuff to work with now, and I've got people that have agreed to talk to me. It's just the last thing I need is another project on the go right now, and I don't want to be half-assing it. Like, I put up a podcast and then never do one again or something. I want to, if I do it at all, I want to be doing it all the time, and make it like a weekly or bi-weekly thing that people can engage with. But anyway, that's enough for me for the day. So yeah, if you like this video or any of my other videos, be sure to share them with your friends, and follow me on Instagram @ephemeralremy. Have a good day.